Gang shit, bad shit, getting squad close.
Jande and Tay pulling up, feeling like Harry Belafonte. Look at my racks, feel like Serena when hit from the back. Swing, pull like Jim, waves on swim, and a rock Tims with the tech.
Welcome to the Bad Brew, the podcast where two bad bitch besties rant about this sick, bad world. I'm Jande.
I'm Tay.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I have an announcement for the listeners. In that this will be my last official podcast episode as co-host. Obviously that's not like indefinite. Like I know that at some point I'll be back, whether it be as like a guest, whether it be as like whatever. But for the foreseeable future, you will not be hearing my voice on this podcast anymore because I hate all of you. First off, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
you, Linda. I don't know if we have a Linda listener, but if we do, she's going to be
If
like,
and when
what?
we ever do, she's gonna feel so confused.
I'm just kidding, Linda. I love you if you exist.
I'm gonna miss you. This has been
I know.
super fun, but I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna plow through. I'm gonna
You
have
need
some.
to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some other bitches, some other bad bitches from our Bad Brew crew.
You
joining
can
the
call
guest
them like
host.
your rotisserie bitches and just have them on rotate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that just makes me think of chicken.
Yeah. Who doesn't like rotisserie chicken? I don't love
I don't-
rotisserie chicken.
I don't like chicken at all. We've been over this. I think it tastes so
Fair.
gross.
Yeah.
No. Speaking of things that taste
Ooh,
gross,
sorry, I just
or maybe
Wait.
really good.
Ooh.
What happened?
I just like breathed and I don't know. The baby should not be like kicking like that yet. That's way
Oh.
too soon.
Are you
That
okay?
felt really weird. Yeah, it wasn't like painful. It was just like a little pull or something. It was weird.
Oh.
Sorry. Maybe this baby's like, don't talk shit about chicken in my presence. It's my favorite food.
Have you been
Already
eating
passionate.
chicken?
Not really, no.
Yeah, gross. I think chicken's gross.
I haven't really been able to eat much of anything because I've been so ill. But I am like making sure that I'm getting like nutrients and like I'm watching, you know what I mean? Like I'm checking in and making sure that I'm getting enough whatever throughout the
Yeah.
day. So
That's good. Good.
it's important.
That little fucker is the reason you have to take a step back from the pod, so I hope it's worth it.
Me too. Shit. I'm just kidding. I'm sure they
All
will
right,
be.
so let's just put our predictions in right now.
Okay.
Boy or girl?
Oh, you know, everybody thinks it's a boy, and all like signs point to boy because of how I've been feeling physically. I was not sick or uncomfortable hardly in the slightest with Wednesday. This time around, it's actual hell all day, every day. Like every possible bad
Okay,
symptom.
question.
Mm-hmm.
If your first pregnancy had gone this, like, bad, like, not bad, but like,
Yeah.
you felt this bad, would you have done it again a second time?
Yes, because we
You are
definitely
crazy.
we definitely wanted to give Wednesday a sibling just because I know how close I am with my brother and how close I would be with my sister if we lived closer. Like we talk all the time, but
Yeah.
you
See,
know, I
that's
think
crazy. Because for me, it's like the opposite. If I ever did have a kid, I'd only have one only child.
Yeah.
Boy or girl, whatever. Non-binary, whatever they are.
yeah.
Just one kid. One heir. No
Yeah.
spares.
I mean, that aspect seems kind of cool too, because like now that I'm having another one so soon after Wednesday, like literally we got pregnant barely 6 months after
Oh my god.
when she was barely 6 months. So I feel like I'm like paranoid that I'm gonna miss out on shit with her, like firsts and like, you know, moments with her and stuff. But because they're gonna be so close in age, like they're gonna be doing a lot of firsts together, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I definitely had, I was very close with my two sisters growing up, so we were each a year and a half apart, so I get that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be like barely a year apart, so they'll be hopefully, they'll probably fight a lot, but they'll be hopefully close. So. Yeah, but definitely
Anyway.
after this one, birth control. I'm gonna fuck around with birth control on some level.
I mean, have you before?
I used to be on a pill when I was like in my mid-teens, and this was not great for me, but I didn't know. So I go to this doctor. So when I was 18, I started having dizzy spells and fainting spells. And I wasn't really like eating very much. I wasn't taking care of myself, but I wasn't telling anybody that. So a friend of mine who's very similar to you, very much like, come on, like there's something wrong with you, we're going to the fucking doctor. Right. She dragged me to the doctor, and this man yelled at me and told me that I, first off, needed to put on weight. Second off, the contraceptive pill that I had been put on the year prior, I don't think I was on it at the time, but he saw my records that I was on a pill. He yelled at me and said, you should have never been put on this because you're at high risk of stroke because of whatever. And I was 18, barely. And I was like, hey, like I didn't subscribe it to myself. I didn't prescribe it to myself.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of put off on a pill contraceptive because it fucks with you so much, but I'm also not into the idea of an alien medical piece of equipment in my body, so that's kind of off the table for me too.
That's exactly why I got my tubes removed, because I was over being on the pill. I was on it since I was 15, like it was half my life on birth control pills, and I was like, let me just not take this.
Did you feel
anymore.
so much better when you got off of those?
I mean, I'm still a bitch, but it's kind of hard to say because now I'm also on Lexapro, so I'm a lot more mellowed out. But it's definitely a lot easier to track my period now for some reason.
Oh. Okay. I mean, do you need to track it?
No, but like just to know for sex activity purposes.
Oh, I guess, like scheduling.
Like dick appointments, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I unleashed a little bit of feminine rage last night when Patrick and I were talking
tell me all about it.
Birth control, because I said everything I just said to you, basically verbatim, about not wanting to be on a pill and not wanting to have an IUD or something in
foreign
my
inside your body.
I don't want that. Yeah. So I was like, well, I guess the only other option is condoms. And the look I got, I was like, hold on a minute. And it's kind of like all in jest. Like, it's very much a joke. Like, he would do whatever to make me comfortable. Right. If that was the way that it had to be, like, I know that he would, you know.
Yeah, but
it's
shook
just
him a little.
It's funny to me to see men's reactions on that. And I had just seen, like, you know, text message interactions on TikTok, the way some people show their conversations.
Yeah.
This girl posted this one where this guy that she, like, a situationship or like a fuck buddy or something was like, I just spent $13 on condoms, by the way. And she was like, cool, the pill costs this much. This is how much Plan B costs. This is how much this costs. This is how much this costs. This is how, you know, for like women.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, yeah, I'll shut up now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's like there's a war on women.
Or something. Oh, God, you beat me to it this time.
I'm sure we're going to have plenty of those. Or maybe not, because this episode we're talking about cannibalism. So that's not really women specific. And if anything, a lot of like the big hitters were male specific. So.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Are we just jumping in?
I have Morning Brew.
Give it to me.
Okay. So let me check my notes real quick because I'm a little, not only do I have like pregnancy brain, I also have like new mummy brain. So honestly, I'm just an idiot. Literally. So bear with me. Okay, yeah. So for Morning Brew, there's literally nothing in the news that we haven't talked about already, which is really weird, and it also really sucks because this is my last technical Morning Brew, and this is like one of my favorite things to do every week is look up horrible articles and read them with you guys, but nothing bad has happened.
What?
Which is a good thing. I'm sure that's a good thing. I'm sure. But I do have some stuff.
Okay.
I came across a list of movie tropes. This is gonna sound silly, but bear with me, it's interesting, I promise. Movie tropes that we all seemingly have taken as fact, but they're actually untrue.
Okay. I'm so into this. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So this is from TikTok, obviously, and this is from a creator named Jason K. Pargan. And I have all of the links, so I'll make sure to send these to the new editor, because that's also not me, you guys. But first up, buried pirate treasure being found. It doesn't happen. Not one single scrap of treasure from pirates has ever been found, ever. Never, ever.
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 Okay.
At least not recorded. You know what I mean? I'm sure.
I guess because, like, the pirates spent it all. So, like,
Ooh.
I don't see pirates as, like, saving money.
I think they... Did you just hear that?
There's no buried treasure because they wouldn't bury it. They would use it.
Maybe. I know that not that long ago, Patrick was watching this show on Discovery Channel. I like some Discovery Channel stuff. I love documentaries and stuff. But I only have a pretty small attention span for most things. And if it doesn't get me, it's never going to get me. And he was watching this fucking show about some fucking treasure in some fucking place and these fucking people looking for it and documenting it. And the way that the documentary was set up is that they had a lot of these staged scenes where, like, the conversation was real. Like, imagine you and I scripted our interactions throughout the entire podcast. Like, this moment was scripted. And it's obvious. It's like, it was... I just didn't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, just ugly and stupid. So I couldn't tell you what was going on in that show, but I know that they were looking for a buried treasure, so I know that it exists. But anyways, that's a trope, doesn't exist, no one's ever found any.
Damn it, the Goonies were wrong. Fiction, it's all fiction.
It's all lies. Second is deadly quicksand is apparently not true at all. Quicksand exists.
I knew that.
Yeah. But it's shallow, and there's no record of anyone ever dying in quicksand. And I don't know if it's just me, but did you not have, like, an irrational fear of this as a child?
I mean, I guess, but only because it was always depicted on cartoons and stuff.
A trope. I mean,
I've been on this planet for 30 years, and I've never encountered quicksand, so...
Mm-mm. And you've never heard of anyone dying in quicksand?
They should really be trying to warn us about way more
capitalism,
prevalent
probably.
Things than capitalism, probably. Yeah, for sure. They totally should be trying to teach us against capitalism.
Being on fire was pushed on us like it would happen every other day, like stop, drop, and roll. I was terrified walking through life at any moment I was going to be on fire. I have never been on fire, to my recollection.
I mean, people do spontaneously combust sometimes.
I don't think you can stop, drop, and roll with a spontaneous combustion.
I don't think you can.
You need to write that down and talk about spontaneous combustion in your next episode.
I literally bought a new notebook to take notes.
Yay! I feel like millennials like us get so excited over a new notebook.
Oh my god, look at it, it's so cute.
Yes. Okay, see how cute that is? And literally, if you put that pattern, listeners, it's a very floral, kind of muted jewel tone colored, floral-ish pattern, whatever. If you put that pattern on anything else, it would...
It's very 80s.
It wouldn't be in your life, though. If you put that on a shawl, or... Would you wear it? You would not.
Leggings like that?
Yeah. Really?
I used to wear loud leggings all the time, and I only stopped because my soon-to-be ex-husband disapproved of my loud pant wear.
He was trying to silence your pants.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing for him.
It's embarrassing for me too, bitch.
Well, I can't wait to see you in a pair of light leggings. Because I had no idea that you would wear those. So, Christmas, even though you don't celebrate
back
it.
when I was like, Christmas, 12 months away.
Watch me forget.
Yeah, you have mommy and pregnant brain.
Oh, God. I'll have 2 kids this Christmas. I'm not talking about this. Okay.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that till you said it right now.
I know. And if this one's born in June, July, whatever, July, August, September, October, November, December, it'll be 5 months. Oh. Okay. Number 3 of movie tropes that we were all convinced were real. Number 3, highly paid professional assassins are not a thing. Yes, assassins
of course they're not.
I thought they were. I thought like Russian assassins were absolutely a thing. And always
like maybe,
Russian.
And always Russian. Maybe like in a Marvel movie, like Black Widow or something, but
yeah,
definitely not in reality.
Assassins are a thing. Like, but he says that usually it's like people that just need the money, like goons.
Yeah. And the trope in your mind, though, of like a Russian assassin is definitely like a remnant of like Cold War propaganda. That like the Russians, because they're communists, they're bad, you know?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I wouldn't have thought of that. Let's see. He says that yes, people get paid to kill, but it's not this like lush, lavish job where you're rich. He said you'd need a side job. And when he said that, I thought it was so funny because it kind of showed his age a little bit. Like this TikToker, like if you're listening or if you're a fan of him, I don't know him very well. This is just the first one I came across. But everybody my age and younger has a fucking side job because of necessity, not because of like,
no shit.
You know what I mean? Like it's seldom that you're going to come across someone that has just like one job that they're happy with and like living by themselves and don't have a roommate and you know what I mean? It's not happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Number 4, silencers for guns that actually silence the guns are not real. It still sounds like a gun. It's still loud. It's just not as big as the gun sound would make without the silencer. So you know, like the little that you hear in like
it's definitely more than that. Yeah,
it's definitely more than that. Definitely, according to this guy.
So
if you guys know
like
different,
it's kind of like when you have like a rude ass downstairs neighbor who doesn't have a muffler in their car. Kind of like that, like the muffler. It's like the car is still loud, but definitely not as loud as without it.
I haven't seen or heard from that car in a few weeks, so as much as I would not be practicing anything other than whatever I am these days, I also feel like I can still heavily manifest things to happen, and whoops, but also serves you fucking right. Okay, number 5. I thought this one was really interesting. Knockout gas for humans. So you know, like the movie trope or whatever, when someone throws like a can of gas into a crowd to like knock them out?
Yeah, like the Joker does with the laughing gas.
Yeah, I mean, laughing gas, there's like smoke bombs and stuff that you can do to like hide things and like whatever. But if you threw a can of a type of gas that would knock somebody out into a crowd of people, you would more than likely kill more of those people than you would want to. You'd kill them. And that's the whole reason that we need a professional in the room when we have like surgery and shit, because they have to manage like the dosage and supervise you and stuff, because it's very easy to kill people with these gases.
Yeah.
So that's bullshit.
That's crazy, because I was just listening to an episode of another podcast I like, and they talked about the case behind like where the term Stockholm syndrome comes from.
Okay.
And it was like this guy went into a bank to rob the bank, and he held everybody in there hostage. This is in Sweden, obviously. And the cops, like, bungled, like, assisting the hostages so bad that the hostages ended up developing Stockholm Syndrome and siding with their captors because their captors were treating them better. Anyway, the cops, their genius plan was to, like, drill into the vault of the bank and then throw gas at them, which would essentially knock out not only the perpetrators of the hostage situation, but also the hostages.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it doesn't make any sense, so.
No.
Yeah.
While we're talking about Stockholm Syndrome, it's me. It's me.
What?
I just immediately... okay, you know that episode of It's Always Sunny? I know we always reference the show, but we, like, have to. Where...
Don't worry, because this is the last time that show is going to be referenced, since no one else I know watches that show.
You still, I mean, you can definitely still reference it. People will get it. I'm sure.
I definitely will, because I do everything to entertain myself always.
That episode where the McPoyles come and take hostage at the bar, and, like, Dee immediately gets Stockholm Syndrome. She's like, oh, yeah, you guys, I can totally understand, or whatever. Like, I just know, like, my personality type. Like, if you're hostaging me, like, I'm in love with you. Even if you're hideous. I'm like, dang, he's actually kind of fire, though. Like, does anybody see what I see? It's me. I'm Stockholm.
You know, I know thyself. I think it's really brave of you to be so honest about who you are as an individual. Not only with yourself, but with the listeners as well. I appreciate that.
I will always self-expose. Like, you'll never find anything new about me unless I told you.
That's what happens when you're shameless.
Interestingly, this is the same for tranquilizer darts. They're not real. And this guy says...
Let me guess. Truth serum isn't real either.
This guy says, and I kind of wanted to quote this because I might disagree. He said that if tranquilizer darts were real, the cops would use them. Would they?
Oh.
Would they?
Yeah, I don't think they would. They have fucking tasers, and they
also have rubber bullets, and we're still seeing people shot in the street for nothing. So
I mean, a rubber bullet could still kill you.
Well, yeah, if it hit the right place.
Yeah.
Or the wrong place, I should say.
I was gonna wait for you to correct yourself. But yeah, no, I don't know. They have tasers and they don't use them. They have batons and they don't use them.
I feel like I'd rather get shot than take a baton to the head, but I have a headache, so that's probably why.
I feel like if you have a headache, maybe taking a baton to the head would help your headache.
That's funny, because Patrick maintains the same theory, because this morning, what just happened? Sorry. This morning, I took the baby from him, and I was like, doing like the thing that you do to babies, like, blah, 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 and I hit the back of my head really, 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 really hard, and it upset me so bad, not because it like hurt all that much, but because I already had a fucking headache, and I knew that I was set up for the rest of the day with this headache, so this was just like insult to injury. And he said, well, maybe it'll make it better, and I really thought that he was trying to make some joke, like knock some sense into you, which I have a backstory as to why I hate it when people say knock some sense into you, but yeah,
because it's violent as fuck.
I mean, I guess it was so it's really quick. I know it's like a tangent again, but basically long story short, I was the new girl in a school when I was like 10, this one specific school, I was like 10 or 11 or whatever, and a bunch of the boys in my class kept like asking me to be their girlfriend. And the way back in like middle school, like you'd have a boyfriend just based on them asking you, it wasn't like serious, obviously. And I just started, I was like, no, and I was really, really shy with boys back then. I wasn't really like that. And I was like, no. And then this one boy asked me, and I said no. But I thought about it later, and I was like, actually, he's really cute. And, like, all the girls that I'd become friends with, I mentioned it to one of them, and she was like, well, I'll go tell him that you like him and that you actually meant yeah. And I was like, yeah, okay. So this is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm telling the story. So she goes and tells him, and apparently he was joking, and he had a girlfriend. He had a girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And his girlfriend then hated me for the rest of the time that I was at the school, which wasn't long, thank God. And around the end of the day, I was going into the girls' toilets, and she was in there with all her friends, and I was walking in there with all my friends. And this is like my second or first day, bear in mind. And I walk in, and I see her, and there's like a big long queue, and I'm like, fuck this, girls, let's go somewhere else. And I turn, and I hit my head on the hand dryer. Oh. And she was like, good, I bet that knocked some sense into you. And it was such a good line. It was so quick. It was really good for being like 10. And I've just forever hated that line. Scarred for life.
That. Yeah. I 100% get that. That sounds super embarrassing and really traumatizing. Sorry that it happened to you.
I mean, I deserved it. I deserved it.
Maybe
the attention went to my head, and I picked the only boy that had a fucking girlfriend. I was a whole class.
I didn't know he had a girlfriend.
That's true. That's true. I didn't know. I wouldn't have done that if I did know. I was 10 or 11, however. Okay. Next trope that's all lies and bullshit. Any kind of harmless blow to the head will just be fine. So think James Bond when we talk about this one. The way he gets knocked out for hours on end and then comes to later and is like, oh, where am I? Like tied up in the bad guy's den. Bullshit. And if you lose consciousness for any length of time, you need hospital care because damage has been done. Especially if it's hours at a time, you've done very serious damage. So that's bullshit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Any blow to the head is at least possibly fatal. Okay.
Yeah, especially if you're losing consciousness. Like, something happened. 7, breaking someone's neck by twisting it with your bare hands really fast. It's not gonna happen.
It's not real?
I'm terrified of this one, and I will not let Patrick crack my neck because I'm scared of this. But if you think about it, our heads and necks can move that way naturally. So if moving that way quickly, right, was something that could kill us, design flaw, like there would be so many more deaths, like randomly from hearing shit behind you and getting startled, you know, like looking like this.
That does happen to people sometimes, I thought. I think it has more to do with like the like equilibrium or something like in your fucking head, and like if you shift too fast, you might like knock yourself out and kill yourself. I don't know. Ooh. I thought that was real.
According to this guy, it isn't. Yeah, that's just a bullshit one too.
All right.
This one's interesting. The cops drawing a tape or chalk outline around a body at a crime scene. They do not do that, and they have never done that because this would contaminate the crime scene. So obviously they don't do this. Who actually started doing it was photographers and newspaper people because they wanted to show where the body was without like taking a picture of the actual body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have guessed that some like old novelist in the 1910s made it up or something in a book.
Yeah, police or detectives don't do that. I know that they like leave markers and stuff, you know, like in like scenes, like they'll like leave a bunch of markers all over the place.
And they also have a fucking photographer.
Yeah. But they don't draw lines around the body. That's like after. That's like media people.
Interesting. I didn't know
this one's interesting too. This one's a little unclear because like obviously law differs every step you take in any direction, state, country, whatever. But the idea that when you get arrested, you are guaranteed one free phone call. This is not true. This is not facts. Like if you're like, you'll see like all the time in like shows and stuff when someone's arrested, they're like, I want my phone call. You're not actually definitely entitled to a phone call. It really it depends on your charge and it depends on where you live and like a bunch of shit.
I feel like I would just call like another country internationally so it would cost them.
Well, that's also up for debate whether it's free or not. So I think, because he mentions that too, how it's like meant to be a free call. It might not be. Like you might end up getting a bill, you might end up like negative commissary, like yeah, of course. You're not surprised by that.
Oh, you're right, I'm not.
Okay, this is the last one. And I really wanted to mention this one because we talked about this like 2 or 3 episodes ago. And this one is waiting 24 to 48 hours before reporting someone missing is not true. You do not have to do this. You do not have to wait 24 or 48 hours. You can do it immediately. You don't have to wait. Apparently, you can do this at any time, according to him.
Okay.
So I figured I had to mention that one because when I saw that, I felt like an idiot.
To say that their kids were kidnapped instead of missing.
Yeah.
So
which I still think
you guys.
I still think
never mind.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But also, like, if you're telling them that they're kidnapped, you still have to tell them exactly what's happened. So, you know what I mean? You still have to tell the truth at some point.
Just tell the truth, yeah.
Yeah. Probably don't lie to cops, right? Is that illegal?
That is not illegal. The cops lie to you when they're telling you that they have evidence on you and XYZ so they can get some false fucking confession out of you so they can shut the case. It's like, no, of course, it's not illegal to lie.
I watch a lot of interrogation videos when I have free time. That's like my favorite thing to do. And like these range from like short to like 4 hours long. Like sometimes I'll be on the same interrogation video for months, like trying to get through this. And I like to think that I know a lot of techniques and tactics, but obviously you don't until you're like in the room or whatever. But one thing that, I don't know if I want to say this, because if you're a bad guy and you've done something wrong, I don't really want you to know this. But if you're a good guy and you're innocent, I'll just say this. You are always entitled to legal counsel and legal representation, and you should always take it, innocent or not. Always. Yep. It's in your best 100%. Interest. Yep. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
Agree.
That's tropes that are bullshit.
All right.
I have a little thing. I know this isn't like usual morning brew, and maybe you guys might think it's boring, but it's the best I could do with nothing crazy happening in the world, I guess.
Oh my god, do you understand how fucking privileged you sound right now?
I know, I'm so sorry, but there's a very specific type of news we're looking for, or I'm looking for with morning brew, and that's like devastating, yes. Too freshly devastating, no. Like I'm not reporting on
current events that are like,
school shootings. Like it's meant to be a little bit more lighthearted than that. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe when you take over morning brew, you might want to keep it dark and awful. Last thing I wanted to mention in morning brew, because we had talked about Shein when we covered the Balenciaga situation. I came across this woman on TikTok, of course. She got an order from Shein recently, and inside the dress that she ordered were 6 folded pieces of paper, each saying the same thing. Quote, "You're gonna die in this suit," unquote.
I just got full body chills.
What the
Juice
fuck?
Bum.
It was a dress.
Oh, that's scary.
By the way. I think I said that. But the note said you're gonna die in this suit, but she ordered a dress. So immediately I recognized possibly a bit of a language barrier, and possibly because I have spoken to a lot of people in China for like products and manufacturing and stuff like that. And there is a way that you can tell with the language, you know what I mean? So dress could or suit, like clothing, whatever, that could be a translation. Anyways, doesn't make it any less fucking scary. She contacted the police. She said in her TikTok that she won't be wearing this or trying this on. She immediately washed her hands and wears gloves if she needs to handle this product at all. And in a follow-up video, she said that maybe it's possible that someone ordered this, then shipped it back to the company, and then they just like shipped it to her. But nothing has been confirmed yet. I'm kind of leaning on the side of that, and I'll tell you why. She said that she placed a large order with them, and this was part of that large order, and it was the only thing that showed up, and the rest of the stuff was still on the way. So, if you're familiar with the Shein app, which I'm never going to lie to you guys, I have ordered from Shein many times in the past. Obviously, with things coming out more and more, I won't be, and I'm trying to get better about supporting fast fashion, but it's hard when you're fucking poor, right? Anyways, they have an
Capitalism
option.
is the devil.
They have an option at checkout that's like quick ship, and that's basically the product that you're looking for is already in the country, or it's closer to you than like the rest of the stuff. And sometimes you can get it within a week, and the rest is coming from, you know, mothership in China.
Yeah.
So kind of circling back to, sorry, that like weird pulling thing keeps happening every time I breathe deep. Circling back to her theory on it being like someone bought it and then shipped it back to them and then they just shipped it to her. Could be that.
Okay.
Or, you know, like I mentioned that one time with the tags begging for help and stuff, maybe they're just sending death threats now. So.
Well, that's utterly terrifying. Thank you for making my stomach hurt.
That's your morning brew. Azania than azania.
Was your goal in the morning brew today to make me feel as sick as you've been lately? Because I feel sick now. That was scary.
Fast fashion shouldn't be fucked with. Even though I know what happens, and come on, I know how it is.
Gross. Do you have who the fuck are you?
I do. I have a really easy, small one, though. Do you have who the fuck are you?
I have 3 questions for you, but let's do yours first.
Locked in, don't wanna let me get out. I'ma put you on a bench, you gotta sit out.
Oh, okay. Mine's easy, and Patrick and I came up with this the other night to ask you. So I'll ask you, but then after you've answered, I also have Patrick's guess for you and my guess for you. Okay?
I love this. Okay.
Okay, it's super easy. Desert Island books and movies. You get 5 movies and 3 books. What are you taking?
Okay, I have a question about the books.
Okay.
Can I bring anthologies? Does an anthology count as one book?
Is that like a collection of books?
Yeah, like it's a collection of like, depending on what the anthology is, like I have lots of English anthologies from college, so like I have one for African American literature.
Mine says 1 physical book.
Okay, so then in
5
that case I would. All right, in that case I would take Norton Simon's anthologies, probably African American literature, Native American literature, and.
Do you have 1 book left?
Yeah. I'm thinking I can't decide between British or American literature. I guess American literature.
Okay. Well, we were both wrong.
Oh, Harry Potter.
I did guess a Harry Potter. I did, and I'm sorry, but I did. I also guessed something by Tina Fey. Just something by Tina Fey. And then I also guessed some form of poetry. Those were my guesses.
All right. Well, the anthologies do have works of poetry in them. That's why I chose the anthologies, because they have different things in them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It's a very intelligent choice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I was going to go with just regular old books or novels or something, yeah, probably Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the best one.
Yeah.
Even though I hate you, J.K. Rowling.
Prisoner of Azkaban was my favorite too. We finished the movies, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I have so much shit to talk about them, but whatever.
I'm so excited. Different phone call later, off air. Okay, I guess I would take the F. Scott Fitzgerald collection I have. It's 1 book.
Okay.
It's all his novels in it.
Yeah.
And then...
Do you want to know Patrick's guess? Because I want to see if you
yeah,
would add this.
I do.
He guessed The Anarchist Cookbook.
Okay.
That was his guess for you.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
Yeah.
He just guessed 1 book. Yeah.
Yeah, he just guessed the one.
I had that.
I don't know how we ended up talking about this, but we did. Okay, what would your movies be?
Oh, goodness. Okay.
I know it's like so hard. It's like on the spot, but you get 5.
It's the original Star Wars trilogy. Like,
okay, I got 5. A point.
Okay, in that case,
I got a point.
What?
Because I put Star Wars.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The original Star Wars trilogy, but that's 3 movies, so now I have 2 spots left. So
Okay.
I guess maybe The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, shook. Okay.
And Titanic.
Yes! Okay, I know that we're not playing a game here, but I put Titanic, Star Wars, and then I put maybe The Office box set, even though it's not a movie.
It's not a movie. I wouldn't have guessed that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wrote mine down if you're interested.
I do. I want to know, yeah.
Okay, for movies, I put also Titanic. I could watch that movie until my eyes bleed. I love that movie so much.
Same.
Yeah. I put The Perfect Storm.
Okay.
Love that movie. I put Lord of the Rings. I literally don't care which one. It could even be a Hobbit. Like, I just don't care. They're long, they're beefy, they're better than Harry Potter. I just really enjoy them. I also put The Life Aquatic. I'm not giving you time to interject or disagree with me. And Shawshank Redemption. That's my 5th one.
I love Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. If we got stuck together, we would have a really good selection, except we have 2 copies of the Titanic.
Well, that's good, just in case we, like, fuck one up.
Yeah, well, because one's going to get burnt out for sure.
Yeah.
And for books, I put Stephen King's It. I put a sketchbook. I don't know if that's cheating, but that's what I put. And I didn't know what to put for my 3rd. I just couldn't think of anything, so I put either the Bible or a September edition of Vogue. So
a September edition of Vogue? Is September like a big deal?
Usually they're like pretty beefy, issues.
Interesting.
Sometimes I've been shorted, but they're supposed to be good.
All right.
Shallow.
All right. Well, I've got some questions for you.
Okay. I get nervous.
A little random, this one.
Okay.
How do you eat your steak? Like, at what temperature when you order a steak?
I'm not a big red meat person.
Okay, you're craving a steak today. How do you order it? What temperature?
Medium well.
Okay. I feel like it's a very American thing to do, like, rare or medium rare.
I just don't want something that's raw on my plate unless it's fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because, like, my grandparents eat their red meat, like, burnt to shit. Like, if you threw the carne asada on the ground, it would shatter and turn to dust. Like,
yeah,
I'm not even
I love that.
kidding.
I can do a little bit of juice. It has to be, like, no pink. Like, medium well, no pink. Like, I would do... Like, if I was at a restaurant, I'd probably order, like, well done.
Well done.
Just to make sure that there's, like, no pink or blood or whatever.
Oh,
but if I
pink.
say you do...
Yeah, I like it. I order my shit medium rare. Usually.
Okay. I think that's so sexy.
If I do eat. I don't like to consume cows or chickens or pork, but sometimes I do, and yeah, that's how I like it.
That's sexy. Good for you.
Thank you. I wasn't trying to be. All right. So, if you had to eat a person for survival, where would you start? Like, which part of their body would you begin with?
Are they being kept alive?
No, it's like you're doing it for survival. Like they died. Everyone's
they're
dying
dead.
around you.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I would definitely start by skinning them, and then I would pull out all of the organs and kind of put those in a pot, and then I would probably clean the meat like you would a deer, like take the arms, legs, kind of get everything
Dress
separated. Yeah, and then go back through and the first thing I would eat would be the organs and the legs. I don't love organs. It's not for me. But if we're talking about pure survival, there's a lot of beneficial things in the organs that can keep you going for a long time. It also depends on the person. If it's a fatty person, I'm going to prepare them differently. You know what I mean? If it's Patrick's build, I'm going to eat his ass and thighs probably first. And then
I knew that your answer at the end was going to be ass. Ass and thighs. Because that's what I would eat first, too.
Yeah,
that's
it makes the most sense.
That's like where the juicy meat is.
Yeah. Because you have like a pretty, it also depends on where you are. Like if I'm on a hot island, I'm getting the best parts first. But if I'm cold, like Alaska surviving, I'm eating the organs first and then kind of making it last. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I like that. I love that for you. All right. How would you prepare the human flesh? Like, I'm saying, like, what dish are you making out of what body part?
Well, for the appetizer, I would probably do like a pate from the liver. Again, it depends.
My God, that sounds delicious.
It depends on the person, right? So like my liver is probably gonna taste better than like currently than it would have back in the day because I'm not drinking, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think it would, I'd make a pate with the liver for an appetizer. Then for entree, I think I would do. Okay, I have a question. The person that I'm feeding, have they eaten like flesh before? Are we on a date? Like, is there a setting, or I'm just feeding myself?
You're just feeding yourself, bitch. What the fuck? You're surviving.
Oh my God. In my mind, I'm in like a professional kitchen. Like surfing.
In your mind, you're fucking Hannibal Lecter from the show Hannibal.
Okay. Well, in that case, if this is purely on survival, I'm not making a fucking pate because obviously I don't have any.
I mean,
bread.
That still sounds amazing though. Not gonna lie.
I'm not eating pate ever unless I have like a cracker because I'm not eating pate. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I guess. I think I'm a cat and that's basically cat food to me. So.
Okay, so I'm just gonna scrap the appetizer, entree, whatever, and I'm probably just gonna cook it up. I'm just gonna burn it, make it seem as much like a chicken tender as possible, I guess.
Okay. I would make a stew.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like stews, soups, they last long, you know? Slow cook the meat.
They do.
Keep slow cooking the meat. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Again, it just depends on the setting. If we're in Alaska, stew is a really good option. Because that's a good, you could throw all the organs in there, the bone marrow, everything, and just have it constantly cooking.
Yeah. And then maybe somebody else dies off, and then you just throw them in the pot.
Yeah, like pho, like going. A pho restaurant, you just never clean the pot, and you just keep adding to it. Oh, pho sounds so good right now.
It does, actually. I haven't had pho in fucking forever. I want some now.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's all I had for Who the Fuck Are You? And I don't know if you picked up from the questions I asked, but today's topic is cannibalism.
Yum, 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 yum.
We are morbid little bitches. It's not even cool.
When you think about what we're talking about, yeah, it is a little disturbing.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, for the record, listeners, I'm joking. I would never, well, I don't know about never. I would never eat another human being without their consent. So, like...
Same. I can confidently say that. Like, I would never do that on, you know what I mean, somebody that didn't want it or whatever. Like, this would be purely for survival, or, like, fuck it. Like I told you guys, like, when Patrick and I are 75, 80, 85, whatever... Like, we're gonna be getting pretty crazy. And if by then human meat's on the menu from a consensual person, I'm trying it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Oh my God, have you seen that movie Fresh yet?
No.
Oh, watch it. Okay, I recommend this to everybody who's listening. Watch the movie Fresh. It's on whatever, Hulu. I don't fucking know. Google it. It's called Fresh. It's really good. And it's about this.
Oh, okay. I'll probably start watching that when we're done recording this episode.
Perfect.
All right, so are you ready for some topic analysis? Oh, is this the last time I'm giving you anal for a while?
Aww.
Aww. Just a little while. Aww. All right, so... cannibalism, the practice of eating the flesh of one's own species. According to sciencefocus.com, this list of animals also engages in cannibalism.
Yay. Okay.
Spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Freshwater shrimp. Sand tigers. Sand tiger sharks. Dying poison frogs? I'm not quite sure. Guess it's just a type of frog. Great apes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Orthocanthus sharks. Hippopotamuses.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that one wild? Tyrannosaurus rex. And tiger salamanders. So...
T-Rex, really?
Yeah.
You know what?
Apparently.
I feel like with that one, like, prove it. Because first off, did you just like study the contents of one T-Rex and then decide for the entire T-Rex community, oh, they must be cannibals? Like, you could have came across the Dahmer of the T-Rex people. They're not people. The T-Rexes, and been like, oh, they're all like this. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Prove it.
Interesting take on that list of
hippos, though. The hippo fact makes them even more terrifying to me than they already are.
Yeah, those motherfuckers are scary.
Yeah, I would rather fight a T-Rex.
Same. I think you have a better chance of surviving a T-Rex than you do of a fucking hippopotamus.
Yeah, a hippo will get your address and like Uber to your house, like if you run away. Like they'll figure it the fuck out.
The word hippopotamus means what is it? Water horse? River horse. It means river horse. But when Emma told me that fact, I just was like, nuh-uh, they're water pigs. River versus water pigs.
Water pigs.
They're way fucking scarier than horses.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fuck that. Okay. All right. So human cannibalism. The Psychology Wiki page reads, cannibalism, from Spanish canibal, in connection with alleged cannibalism amongst the Caribs, also called anthropophagy, from Greek, anthropos meaning man and phagein meaning to consume, is the act or practice of humans consuming other humans. In zoology, the term cannibalism is extended to refer to any species consuming members of its own kind. So, Neanderthals are believed to have practiced cannibalism on their own species. Among humans, it has been practiced by various groups in the past in Europe, South America, New Zealand, North America, Solomon Islands, New Caledonia, New Guinea, and Fiji, usually in rituals connected to tribal warfare. Fiji was once known as the Cannibal Isles. Evidence of cannibalism has been found in the Chaco Canyon ruins of the Anasazi culture. I feel like I knew that. Like, do you remember hearing that term before, like the Cannibal Isles?
No.
Oh, okay. I feel like I've heard that before.
No, not at all.
Sounds a little fucked up now. All right, so cannibalism... Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if they're consenting, but I mean, probably not, huh?
But if it's, like, in your culture to, like, be consumed by the people who love you after you die, then you, like, are consenting because you're, like...
Yeah. I think that's beautiful.
You know
if that's the case,
like...
then I'm on board.
Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. But I also will say that... So, I'm so sorry. I knew it was going to go like this. I'm so into talking about this. But I will say, just because, like... And this might be a hot take, this might be controversial, and this might get me, like, permanently canceled, but I feel like just because sometimes things are culture doesn't make it okay, i.e. genital mutilation. So...
Yeah.
Just because it's, like, culture to take someone who's unwilling to do this and cut them up beneath them, you can't be like, oh, well, it's my culture. Like, no, it's murder. That's what it is.
Yeah. But I have a feeling like some of these cultures are... They die of natural causes and then they consume the
If
body.
That's the case, hell yeah. Love that.
Okay, so cannibalism as sanctioned by a cultural norm is often distinguished from cannibalism by necessity, occurring in extreme situations of famine or under a plea of insanity. There are fundamentally two kinds of cannibalistic social behavior: endocannibalism and exocannibalism. Endocannibalism is a form of cannibalism, the eating of dead members of one's own social group, often associated with spiritual beliefs. Exocannibalism Exocannibalism, as opposed to endocannibalism, is the consumption of flesh outside one's close social group. For example, eating one's own enemy. So I guess, like, the cultural thing that you're down for is endocannibalism, and exocannibalism is like what Dahmer did.
Right. Yeah. Would you eat your grandmother if she was like, do it when I die?
If she was like, yeah, when I die, make a taco out of, like, my arm?
Yeah.
Yes, I would totally do that.
Would you invite me?
I make a torta, but whatever. I mean, obviously.
Okay. Well, if my mom says that, then you're invited too. But I will say, like, she wears a lot of perfume, so, like, I think we're gonna have to, like, smoke the meats. You know?
I think my grandmother is gonna be delicious because she's eaten nothing but, like, beans and cheese and, like, tortillas her whole life, so
yeah,
she's gonna be just, yeah, magnificent.
Free range.
Delicious.
Free range grandma.
Free range grandma. I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so an overview from the Psychology Wiki. The social stigma against cannibalism has been used as an aspect of propaganda against an enemy by accusing them of acts of cannibalism to separate them from their humanity. The Carib tribe in the Lesser Antilles, for example, acquired a long-standing reputation of cannibals following the record of their legends by Friar Brenton in the 17th century. Some controversy exists over the accuracy of these legends and the prevalence of actual cannibalism in the culture. So, at the beginning there, it's saying that, like, cannibalism used to be used as, like, this social stigma to, like...
like, you're a narcissist, or you're gaslighting me, but back then it was you're a cannibal?
Yeah, basically. To, like, you know, slander them.
Fuck?
But this is actually, like, the same shit, like, when the Nazis claimed that the Jews were, like, killing babies for their, like, Christian babies for their blood libel or whatever. Like, that's what that was.
I guess propaganda can be very extreme sometimes. Like,
sometimes!
You know what I mean.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Propaganda's propaganda. It's always extreme. It's fucking lies.
But I mean, like, in the sense where it's, like, killing babies and eating, like eating baby dicks and, like, burning people alive or whatever, you know.
You know who else they used to say that about? That's like a fucking stereotype about witches. That, like, they'll fucking steal your babies and eat them.
Yeah. Well, that's the worst thing you can say. Like, what are you going to say to someone to scare them, to keep them away from something? Yeah. Like, they're going to come for your kids. You know what I mean? It's almost like reverse, like, you're fucked up for lying about it.
Yeah, no shit. So I just think that that's interesting, that just the idea that the notion that cannibalism has been used as propaganda against, like, quote unquote lower stock human beings, right? Like, because I don't feel that way about human life, but yeah, it's like, you know, and you know, the whole thing with the witches, it's like, it's even more upsetting because it's also sexist, because it's like witches are women usually in these, like, scenarios, especially in the past, right? It's always women victims, and well, not always, but anyway, it's just like the thing you can do is procreate and make life. So, like, it's like the most insulting thing to tell a woman that, like, she's a baby eater. Yeah. And witches are just women who are, like, smart, women with ideas.
I know. Like, one of the witch tests would be to, like, strap concrete to a woman's feet and throw her in the water. And if she sank, she was not. If she drowned, she was not a witch. And if she managed to get out and didn't drown, she was a witch. So you'd be burned anyways.
I'm pretty sure that's true, except for the concrete part. They would just throw them into the river, and, like, because of the current or because of, like, their heavy clothing that they were wearing, it's like most of them would just sink.
But it would be just, like, the most ridiculous tests. Like, I'm gonna throw this brick at your head, and if you die from it, then you're not a witch. And if you don't die from it, then you are a witch, and I'm gonna kill you anyways. Ridiculous. It was just control. It was
It's
controlling
almost as
women's
if
body.
There's a war on women or something.
Back
It's
then.
so weird. It's almost as if this war's been going on since the beginning. It's weird.
Suspicious.
All right. So weird. It's boggling my mind. According to a decree by Queen Isabella of Castile, and also later under British colonial rule, slavery was considered to be illegal unless the people involved were so depraved that their conditions as slaves would be better than as free men. This legal requirement may have led to conquerors exaggerating the extent of cannibalistic practices, or inventing them altogether, as demonstrations of cannibalistic tendencies were considered evidence of such depravity. So again, you have the idea that, like, you know, the conquerors who came over here, when they found the natives, it's like they were exaggerating or even just inventing the fact that they were cannibalistic cultures so that the crown would then allow them to enslave the natives.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Super,
by the signs of it.
Cool. Okay, so what possesses a human being to cannibalize another? The Psychology Today article entitled Why Cannibals Love Eating People by Deborah Sherman Coughlin, PhD, she claims that it's very hard to predict who will become a cannibal. Cannibalism is not all that common. However, when it does happen, it is absolutely... Oh yeah, I'm just reading this article now. However, when it does happen, it is absolutely horrifying. Once again, a cannibal killer has been caught. 21-year-old Ivan L. was captured in Russia. He was a chef who was enamored with eating human beings. He so enjoyed his craft that he made internet videos. Have you heard of this guy?
No.
I haven't heard of it either until I read this article. That's why I always just read you guys the article, but whatever. Throughout history, human beings have dined on human flesh. Whether it was an attempt to gain the enemy's strength or as a means to terrify opponents, cannibalism goes back a long way. There have been those lone individuals who find eating people absolutely satisfying. Some cannibals are psychotic. Richard Trenton Chase was a serial killer who consumed the victim's blood because he believed space aliens were turning his blood to powder. After all, he had to replenish it.
Annoying.
However,
I'm sorry, I just find it so fucking annoying when somebody is clearly has a mental health issue, but it becomes everyone else's fucking problem. Like, I don't hate you for the struggle you're going through mentally at all, but you're literally... I hate you. It's annoying. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's like, be responsible for yourself. Bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly.
However, most cannibals are not psychotic. They very well know what they are doing. The pattern is very clear. The killer lures an unsuspecting victim to his home and subdues him. Then an elaborate fantasy plays out. They enjoy the process of removing the meat from the skeleton. It makes them feel all-powerful and capable of something very few people have ever done. Even most serial killers do not eat their victims, so the cannibal is in this class by himself, and he knows it.
Ugh, also annoying, because I feel like some people just do shit to be extra. Like, this is why we shouldn't be giving serial killers fucking cool names, like the Dark Knight Bandit or whatever the fuck. Call them what they are, like little bitches. Like, give them silly little names. Honestly. Yeah, like Chode Sucker. Yeah. Or Fishy Boy, like, which we're gonna get into.
Okay. Fuck, where was I?
I'm sorry.
Okay, most cannibals are extreme loners. It's okay. They do not have friends and they are bitter about it. Incels. Killing and eating a victim ensures that the offender is never alone. He has the victims with him at all times. They can never leave. This helps the cannibal retain a sense of control over his life. To himself, he has demonstrated mastery over another human being. The victim is now part of him as a trophy. This is intoxicating and drives him to do it again. Unfortunately, it is very hard to predict who will become a cannibal. There may be signs in adolescence, such as killing small animals and drinking their blood. However, offenders go to great lengths to hide this behavior. Someone with psychopathic tendencies who is drawn to blood and death is always of concern. The fascination with gore becomes all-consuming to the point where the individual pushes living people away. I know, I was like reading this right now, I'm thinking about you. Oh my goodness, that's not good. Okay. Sorry, so the fascination with gore becomes all-consuming to the point where the individual pushes living people away. So you're like making living people. You're definitely not a cannibal.
Yeah. And I've definitely toned down like I still fall into my holes where I'll look at pictures. Like, I don't know if that's illegal, right? Like, this is on Reddit. Like, I don't go to...
I mean, they're online, yeah.
Yeah, I don't go to, like, and I don't go anywhere crazy to look at these things, and I'm not, like, masturbating while I look at these. I'm not feeling joy when I look at these pictures. You know what I mean?
No,
it's not like that.
It's a morbid curiosity. It's like a gore fascination.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked up, but whatever.
Yeah, and I definitely feel... sadness, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen some crime scene pictures where you can see this man came home, this woman was at her desk working, you know what I mean? And I feel definite, and I have feelings for those people, you know what I mean? So I would never...
Yeah, you're not like looking at it and getting joy from it. You're looking at it and feeling like almost heartache for these people.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm feeling something, you know what I mean? Because I used to think that. I used to be like, is there something wrong with me? Like, maybe a little bit, but like, it's not like I'm feeling nothing, which is a concern, and I'm definitely not loving it.
Would you go to a public execution? Like, if it was back in the 1600s? Okay, then there you go,
well,
same thing.
It depends on the charge, I guess.
Yeah, but back then they didn't care. They just like wanted to see a hanging. They were just like, we're so into it.
I would go. I would, yeah. Maybe that's not cool for me to say, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I've already talked about how I want to put all pedophiles on an island and go hunting, but like, yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm almost done here.
Okay.
Overall cannibals. Overall cannibals. Overall. So not like the sometimes cannibals, but the overall. Oh my god. Okay. Take 2. Overall, cannibals seem proud of their actions, but they are adamant about the fact that they are cannibals and nothing else. One offender I interviewed was insulted that he had been accused of rape. He adamantly declared that he never raped anyone. He said, "I may kill them and eat them, but I never raped anyone. You make sure people know that."
Good. I mean, to be honest with you, like, and I will always maintain this, people might honestly come for me on this one. I truly feel that raping someone is worse than killing them. I'm sorry. People may disagree with me on that.
I would have to agree with you on that.
Yeah. Like, think about when you're watching a movie, right? And there's a recreation of a murder. Okay. Mm-hmm. You know, might feel a little bit whatever.
Yeah, you've never been murdered. You don't have to live with the trauma of having been murdered after you're murdered. Whereas when you're raped, you have to live with that trauma for the rest of your life. And yeah, there are people who definitely do the work to move past and move on that trauma. But it's still like all this work you have to do that like you didn't ask for. It's just, it's all bad. It's not fun.
Worth it, by the way, listeners. If you're going through that work, definitely worth it. Like, I promise.
Yeah. All right. Another offender asked his victim how he liked his meals prepared. In the interview, I asked why. The cannibal said, "I wouldn't want to insult him by cooking him the wrong way." Then, as if to justify what he had done, he said, "It didn't come easy, you know. I had to work for it. It took a lot to kill him." And that's my seg. That is your topic analysis for cannibalism.
Interesting.
Got your little definition, a little article read for you.
I really enjoyed the side of cannibalism that I didn't really think of, which was like an accepted version in ways of like, you know, like how we were talking about like the elders pass on and then consent to their remains being ingested, which I think that genuinely sounds like a beautiful thing to me.
Yeah, I think so. As long as everyone's a consenting member of the party, you know?
Yeah, and natural death. You know what I mean? Not like, I'm gonna kill myself and you guys can eat me. Like, that's very Midsummer and I'm not here for it.
I was gonna say, this isn't Midsummer, girl. Yeah. All right, just don't do it too hard. Oh wait, I guess that doesn't matter.
Still scared of that. We'll always be scared of that, even if it's not true.
It's still scary. Your neck is a very vulnerable place in your body.
Yeah. Ugh. That's where I carry all my tension too. Like all my stress goes to my
carries their tension.
neck and shoulders. Yeah, they're trash. They're just broken.
Yep. They're just broken.
Let's see what I have for you. So, because we're talking about cannibals, obviously I wanted to get some of the main well-known cannibals out of the way. I wanted to spill some tea on like the headliners in this world. First and foremost, or I don't know if I want to say foremost, but Jeff Dahmer was a cannibal. And he was actually nicknamed the Milwaukee Cannibal, which I didn't know, believe it or not, until I did this research. And again, that irritates me, so we're not going to call him anything cool. We'll call him Jeffy, because trash. But according to an article on Stylecaster.com, Jeffrey once fried a man's biceps in oil and ate them, and he said that it tasted like beef. Apparently, according to Jeffy, his obsession with killing and keeping people was just that he wanted to keep them and control them. Like, he wanted to have that, like, ownership over them. I really don't want to harp on Jeffy too much. Everybody knows about him. This topic has been done to death, and what's more, I really think that what Netflix did with that series was completely uncalled for and unfair to the families of the victims, even though I love Evan Peters. And I love
Evan Peters, and I watched like maybe the first 2.5 episodes of that show, and then I couldn't continue watching it because of how inaccurate it was from the actual events of what happened. And I was like, oh, this isn't cool. Like, you're like reimagining the story to make it more salacious somehow. Like, I don't like that. It's like the story's already fucked up as it is, as facts and events happened as they happened. So it's like, I don't like the creative liberties being taken on something that is true crime.
Well, giving him this like
it's already
origin,
horrific.
Yeah, but giving him like the origin backstory, like why he is the way he is, like trying to explain it and justify it, like I thought that was disgusting. But that did actually veer off, because when we started watching it, I was like, if this is gonna be fucking like this all the way through, like trying to sympathy garner for fucking Jeffy, like I'm not into this. But it did change. Like, it didn't stay like that. So
yeah, I just couldn't get past the inaccuracy of the events. It's like I don't know what your motive is for changing these facts, but I don't like it because that's not what happened, because I've read books about it. So
yeah,
read a fucking book for once.
Yeah, Netflix kind of fucked up with that one, but I still love you, Evan. Okay, so let's talk about another cannibalism headliner, Albert Fish, which he's probably the worst of the worst. Like, piece of shit, serial killer, child R-wordist, molester, and cannibal. He was active with these crimes between 1924 and 1928-ish. I'll just leave it at that. He had a bunch of nicknames that he was given, and these nicknames were, again, kind of cool. I'm not here for that. I'm not going to list off any of those because I'm so over the media doing this with these scumbags. So we're just going to call him...
That's how they sell... Yeah, that's how they sell newspapers. See, capitalism is the devil. It's like you're fucking glorifying and enshrining kind of like this fucking image of a literal like murderer and R-worder. You know what I mean? Like, R-wordist.
But the stuff that this guy did was disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's pretty foul. There's many true crime podcast episodes that go in depth into his cases. Listeners, if you're interested in listening to that, because I've listened to them and they're fucked up. If you have that morbid curiosity, definitely make your way to some of those other podcasts. Because I don't think Tay's gonna go into it because it's really dark.
I completely like put that in my notes here, almost verbatim for what you just said. I said, where did I put that? I literally put fish boy, birdie fishy, and then I put anyways. Where did I put that? Because I put the same words that you just said. Like, if you're morbid, like, go read about it or whatever. Anyways. No, I'm not going to go into his entire life history.
No, I'm not here for it. I've already heard that one.
Yeah. Gross. But let me... Where did I... I'm sorry, I, like, completely got lost in my notes. Okay, something that stood out to me were the similarities between the victims Fish chose next to Dahmer's victims, right? And again, I'm not going to harp on this too much, but seemingly both of them targeted underage boys, African American or POC. That was kind of what they gravitated towards. Quote unquote, too, Fish seemed to gravitate towards boys that were, this is the quote part, mentally disabled. I'm not saying that. I don't think we say that anymore. And that's according to Wikipedia. But basically, he would target these victims people that would not be missed. Exactly, were vulnerable. Like, I get like tongue-tied and like tripped up on this because I can't relate.
But see, that's like what a real true predator does.
Yeah, it's very calculated and disgusting.
Somebody who they know that they can take. Like, Jeffy was a big dude. Like, he was tall. You know, like, he could take a lot of his victims. Whereas, like, you know, somebody like Albert Fish, who's like this decrepit little elderly man, toward the end there, it's like he's gonna go for somebody he knows he can overpower, because that's what a predator does. Yeah, and mainly young boys. Fish did have female victims. One notable one, which I'll get to here in just a second, but the cannibalism. According to an article on filmdaily.co, Fish, like many other cannibals, started his obsession by first eating raw meat. The raw meat eventually wasn't enough for him, so that's when he started the abducting, the abusing, and the eating of children. Fishy was once quoted to say that he, quote, had children from every state, but it was never actually confirmed if he meant like what he meant by that, like if he meant assaulted, murdered, R-worded, or ate a child in every state. It's not clear. I also think to a certain extent these pricks, almost like when they get caught, try and be like the biggest and the baddest and the scariest because they want to be infamous. Of course.
So it could just be a fucking lie, true as well.
Right. Exactly. They like to inflate their kill number or their victim number or whatever to sound harder. But it's like, you weren't saying that before you got caught.
No.
'Cause you're a pussy.
Yeah, exactly. In the end, like I said, even though his victim preference was young boys, he murdered a young girl, and it was this victim that actually led to his capture. It took 6 years of investigation before a lead was even found on the case of the murder of this young girl. Fish sent a gruesome letter detailing the murder to the victim's mother, telling her that it took him 9 days to eat her entire body. I literally hate this guy. He was apprehended on December 13th, 1934. He was put on trial for the kidnapping and murder of Grace Budd. That was the young girl. That last victim. I don't know if it was his last victim, but it was certainly the one that kind of, rolled this into him getting caught.
Yeah.
He was convicted and executed by electric chair January 16th, 1936 at the age of 65. You're so gross. I hate you so much.
So disgusting. As much as I hate the death penalty, I'm not mad about that.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence with it because I feel like, is it worse to just get to die or to live in prison?
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the great philosophical debates, right? I don't know, because I do agree with you. I do think that having to live your miserable life is more of a punishment, especially for people like that who have urges to abuse children or hurt children in any way. It's you get to be in prison with adults and adults only, and you never get to look at kids again. That's pretty good punishment.
Yeah, but then I kind of think
people
too,
get released for good behavior or whatever, and then they just go back out and do it again. It's because
they reoffend. That type of offender reoffends. It's just facts.
Yeah.
I think now, kind of like as a mom seeing it from the other side, like if something happened to Wednesday, would I, something like that, right? Not just something to that level. Would I feel like justice for her if he was no longer breathing, or justice if he was still there? And I think him just existing would still make me feel so icky all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Feel that. I feel that.
Just knowing that he's breathing on the same planet as me still, like, how dare you?
There's a lot of true crime cases, that are like that, where the victim's family members feel very much that they want the death penalty for the person who,
Yeah. But then I also, like, I watch a lot of these crime shows. Took?
Did I just say tooked? Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. I missed it if you did. Comment below if she just fucked up. I also see, like, we watch, like, a lot of crime documentaries, obviously. And, like, when I see the moms or the sisters or, the brothers talking about the guy or whoever that did the crime, like, took their person from them, and they're still so angry, and they're, like, they're wanting these things, like, from, watching that, I always think, like, I know you would feel better if you let it go, Not like, I'm not talking about, like, forgive and forget. I'm not talking about, like, some Christian shit like that. Like, I'm just talking about, like, don't harbor so much hatred, because it's genuinely not good for you.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but that's why I'm not in a position to make these decisions. So it's not for me to do.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna talk about them. Okay, I have two things left. Like, two kind of big things left. And the one that I was gonna do first, I think I'm actually gonna save to the end. Because it involves a raw read, which I didn't get to do with you guys earlier. So I'm gonna circle back to that. Okay. This one's kind of a fun one. Not really. It's not fun. But I got this one from TikTok, which is my favorite place to get information besides Twitter. But I came across this girl. Her name is Daisy Foco, and her TikTok is the most interesting fucking place on earth. Like, I just randomly came across this one specific TikTok she made about what I'm about to talk about, but I went and, like, kind of checked out the rest of her account, and, like, it's just really fucking interesting. Like, she does like historical facts, like interesting origins of things. I highly recommend her. Daisy Foco, like, I have the link, like, I'll send it to the editor and stuff. But she talked about Jameson Whiskey Air Paid for Cannibalism. That's the title.
Oh my god.
Strap in for this one. I have drank enough Jameson possibly to kill someone in one sitting.
Me too, just this past weekend. Jesus.
Yeah. Big fan of Jameson, and I'm certainly not going to not still be a Jameson drinker after this story. Sorry, it is what it is. Here we go. She states at the start of this that the details are a bit murky because there are witnesses that say one thing and then James Jameson says another thing, obviously. So let's just toss a quick, this is alleged on this before we begin. But basically what supposedly happened was James Jameson went on an expedition to Africa in 1887. This expedition was led by Morgan Stanley, and they went to the Democratic Republic of Congo, and this is where our story takes place. According to witnesses, when they got there, James Jameson said that he was interested in seeing a girl be cannibalized. Of course, he maintained, I should say, that he did not say this, but he was the only person on this trip that had that version of events. So everybody's saying that he said this. He's like, no, I didn't. And everyone's like, yeah, you did. So, whatever. Allegedly. James, allegedly, paid a vendor 6 handkerchiefs for an enslaved girl. He was apparently instructed to then take this girl to a hut and tell the people inside the hut that she was a gift from a white man who wished to see her cannibalized. Then, I'm not giving you a chance to breathe. Then she was apparently tied to a tree, and the people from inside this hut began slicing pieces off of her and eating them.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. During all of this, James Jameson and others on this trip took out their notepads and started illustrating what was happening. There is apparently proof, quote unquote, that these sketches exist because his widow later published his diary, and that had these sketches in there.
What?
Yeah. James Jameson didn't survive this trip and died in 1888. I'm not sure what that means. Those are Daisy Foco's words. James Jameson didn't survive this trip. I don't know if that means that he didn't make it home. Like a lot of trips back in the 1800s, they're like long voyages. Sometimes you get sick at sea and you just don't make it because there just wasn't medical stuff like there is today. But his widow, along with the diary, also published a letter that James sent her during this trip that detailed the event as well. He said in this letter, apparently, quote, "I just witnessed the most horribly sickening event I'm likely to ever see in my life." End quote. He also apparently said it was some kind of misunderstanding that led to this girl being cannibalized.
What?
He apparently only started sketching this after he realized it was a misunderstanding. So she started being eaten. He was like, oh, it's a misunderstanding. Okay. Like, sketching. You're lying. Allegedly. Like, you're lying.
Allegedly, you're lying. Yes.
For legal reasons, allegedly, you're a fucking liar.
Oh my goodness. Allegedly. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
James Jameson, y'all. So Daisy Foco, when I came across
Jameson anymore.
I mean, I'm so sorry, you guys. I definitely can.
I'm saying that, but I definitely will.
I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm gonna hate it every time now.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had the victim's name. Maybe I wouldn't call it Jameson anymore, but
yeah.
Like I would dedicate it to her. Yeah. But yeah, that's some fucked up shit. Just let that sink in for a minute. I do have one more thing, though. I do have one longer one. I don't know what's gonna be in this. Okay. It's an article that I find on thesun.co.uk specifically. And these are 9 places around the world where cannibalism is still practiced on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a raw read. So this could possibly touch on maybe something you mentioned in your segment, with it being cultural.
Oh, okay.
Possibly. I don't know. Here we go.
Endo versus ecto cannibalisms.
Yeah, so hopefully this article gives us some context and not just like a list, you know?
Okay.
All right. Number 1 is Papua New Guinea.
Okay. That was one of the places I listed.
Okay. In Western New Guinea along the... Oh, excuse my pronunciation. I'm sure this is going to be wrong. In Western New Guinea along the Indaram Khyber River... It's NDE, so I'm thinking Indaram, Khyber River, lives a tribe called the Korowai. The tribesmen believe mysterious deaths are attributed to demons who take on the human form, and it is their duty to consume the dead man's carcass in order to take revenge for the death. So they devour bodies of killed group members in revenge. Okay, so like one of their tribe gets murdered, they eat the murdered to revenge the murdered. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like what you just read.
Okay.
Yeah. That tracks. I'm following.
Yeah. I'm on board. I would do that. Yeah. For sure. Because probably the other tribesmen would be like doing it too if it was the other way around. So
right.
It's probably discussed.
Maybe. But okay. I don't know if that's their culture. Like, it's kind of like, I can't fault somebody for what they were born into believing. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I like that. Like, if you were murdered and I ate you, and in our belief it was revenging like it was revenge for you, then yeah,
I can get
Jande tacos. Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah,
2.
I bet it'd be like carnitas. Lengua. Sorry.
2. The Naihehe Caves of Sigatoka, Fiji. Probably not Fiji, right? Probably not a soft
Fiji.
J.
I don't know.
Previously dubbed Cannibal Island, this is the one that you talked about, Fiji is famous for its long-running history of cannibalism. The practices have almost died out in recent years with the exception of the Naihehe Caves, home to the last human-eating group on the island. And there's a picture here, but it doesn't say anything about why or who or anything there, so I'll just move on. The Ganges River in India. The Agori, a sect of Indian monks, perform cannibalistic rituals in order to gain spiritual enlightenment. Now, with just 20 or so members, the group drink from human skull bowls and cover their body in burnt human remains. They do not, however, kill anyone for use in the ceremonies, using only the bodies of people who have already died. That's nice. I mean, if they're monks, they're not violent, so they're not murdering for the sake of it. I think that's okay. Accept it. We're gonna go through and we're gonna say accepted or not accepted. I'm just kidding. Okay. We're not gonna do that. Okay. We're not gonna do that.
I accept this one. Okay, whatever.
Here we go. Number 4, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Oh, we just talked about this with James Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at a United Nations meeting in 2003, a distressed Sinafasi Makelo, a representative for the Mbuti Pygmies, claimed that Congolese rebels from the Ituri province were eating his people alive. Quote, we hear reports of commanders feeding on sexual organs, apparently believing this would give them strength.
Yuck.
Well, if we refer back to our story about James Jameson, they tied the victim to a tree and started eating pieces of her. So those two stories kind of line up. Yeah,
they do. Gross.
Number 5.
That's unacceptable. I don't like that.
No.
It's like, that's torture. Now you're just torturing people.
Yeah.
This isn't Game of Thrones. Like,
no, you're torturing and murdering people. Not okay. Cambodia. Cambodian soldiers fighting in the Khmer Rouge Rebellion. I'm so sorry. I just, this is what happens when I do a raw read. You know what I mean? I can't read. Rouge Rebellion were accused of cutting out the hearts and livers of the bodies of Khmer Rouge soldiers who were killed in battle in order to eat them on the field or back at home for dinner. They believe that eating the human liver of a defeated enemy will transfer bravery to themselves. I'm on the fence with that one, because if we're talking specifically about cannibalism, it sounds like these soldiers did not kill to eat, but are rather killing because there's a war happening, and then eating after the fact because it's their belief.
It's like a byproduct. Like the cannibalism is a byproduct of the war.
Yeah.
I don't like it. That's unacceptable. I don't like it, though.
Okay, I'm on the fence.
Just don't go to war. What the fuck?
Sometimes you don't have a choice, though.
That's what, like, diplomacy is supposed to be for. We're supposed to talk things out instead of, like, you know.
But I mean, Cambodia?
Yeah, but okay.
I'm on the fence with that one.
No.
Maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe my opinion's wrong.
Yeah. Well, no, you have your opinion. That's totally valid. You're just wrong.
Okay, 6. The Nikuhiva in French Polynesia. In 2011, German tourist Stéphane Ramin went missing while on a traditional goat hunt in Nikuhiva, French Polynesia. His remains were later found near a campfire, and it is believed that he was hacked to pieces and burned by a tribe suspected of cannibalism. So, I mean, you don't really have proof. You're speculating. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think that one counts. If they did do this, then that's wrong. But I don't feel like we have enough. Just on what we have read there, we don't have enough to We need a gavel. We need a Bad Brew gavel. You know, so I could smack it and be like, undecided. Okay.
It's just like Harley Quinn's hammer.
Oh yeah, but like mini, like gavel size.
Yeah, like a little gavel sized one. Perfect.
I love that. I knew we were gonna end up talking about Harley Quinn. I knew that it was gonna come up in conversation. I had a premonition of this. I don't know. I just did.
Has your witchcraft been stronger lately? I feel like mine has.
It's hard to say because like I try and like I guess ignore things now or like I don't know, but something's definitely going on. I'll say that. But
yeah,
I
for sure,
had a premonition that we were gonna somehow she was gonna get brought up. So
okay, all right.
I was right. Number 7, Liberia. I hope I'm saying that right. Following the first Liberian Civil War, Doctors Without Borders found evidence of cannibalistic practices which they sent over to Amnesty International. It's believed that the evidence was then covered up, with Liberia's current Secretary General saying, quote, "What they do with the bodies after human rights violations are committed is not part of our mandate or concern."
Ugh. Yikes.
What a thing to say. You know?
Yeah, I do. Ugh.
Wow. Okay, number 8. Rothenburg, Germany. Germany? Okay, let's see what you gotta say. Germany's answer to Hannibal Lecter, Armin Muse, fulfilled his dream of consuming human flesh by placing an ad for a willing volunteer. Luckily for him, he tracked down dinner in the form of a willing 43-year-old Bernd Brands. The duo dined on Burns' genitals before Armin stabbed him with a 12-inch knife. He was later arrested for murder, as cannibalism is not a crime in Germany. You fucked it up. So you were sitting there with a willing volunteer who was eating his balls and dick with you, and then for some reason you were like, it's not good enough, I have to kill you too. I have to murder you.
Weird.
I mean...
Oh my god.
The cannibalism thing, it was consenting. I'm here for it. It's fine. But for you to snap and then decide to kill him, like, it was probably his plan all along.
That's what I was going to say. I don't even know if he necessarily snapped. I think that, like, that's definitely probably a scenario in which, like, it's like the cannibalism where it's about control, like that aspect of it. Like the murder is also like a control thing.
Yeah, so like Dahmer style.
Yeah, you're not like doing it because it's a ritual or like your culture has done it. Like you're doing it because you want to feel control.
You suck, basically.
I don't like that one.
Number 9. I think this is our last one, guys. This is our last one. Okay. Miami, Florida. Of course Florida was going to be on this list. I'm just kidding. A crazed naked man was shot by police in Miami in 2012 as he refused to stop eating his victim's face. Drugs. Cannibal Rudy Eugene set upon unwitting Ronaldo Papo. Sorry, I just said their whole names. On a Florida freeway, leaving him with only one eye and severe facial injuries.
Oof.
Wow, that's drugs.
That's drugs.
I mean, daylight just attacked on a freeway.
And it's Florida. There was definitely bath salts involved.
Yeah, I feel like I remember hearing about this. Yeah, 2012. I feel like I remember hearing about that one.
I feel like that was the height of bath salts.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of a reverse format there, because that was giving Morning Brew vibes.
Yeah.
I could have read that first.
Damn it.
Well,
let's
cut that. I'm just kidding.
cut that. I'll miss
I'm gonna
you,
be
but...
your big... Well, I'm gonna miss you too. Like, but it's like all...
You'll be back.
Good.
I know you'll be back.
Yeah.
Even if it's just once in a while.
Yeah, I'd like to schwang by and remind you guys.
Yeah, remind us how it's done.
No, I was gonna say that, but I'm like not that arrogant, so I like couldn't even finish the sentence.
I'm arrogant enough for both of us. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
All right, well, bye, Tay. Love you lots.
That's it. Love you guys. Love
Thank you for listening to The Bad Brew. If you are watching or listening to us on YouTube, you can support us even more by subscribing to the Bad Brew channel. Just hit the notification bell so you know when the latest episode has been posted. You can also find us on all social media platforms as The Bad Brew, except on Instagram where you can find us as The Bad Brew Pod. See you next time. Stay bad, bitches.